Kicking off the 2024 season for cross country here. I am at a track I've never been at, and you can tell on the start back there that almost got cleaned out there. I think that guy on the start there might have thought that the entrance into the woods came a little bit earlier than what it did. That would have been bad if he would have cut in just a little bit more. I think we'd have probably tangled. So we're in the state of Illinois, right over the Wabash River. We're at Big River Off-Road Park. You haven't been able to figure it out yet. This place is sand, and a lot of sand. That's not necessarily good for me because I'm not very good in the sand. I just have not rode the sand a lot. And the first lap here it's okay. As it gets ridden on it, I think it just gets more broke in, and I think it almost gets harder, more loose the more that bikes go over it. So I'm riding Super Senior B class here, and I think we're in the same row as the C class, and all of the C classes are in front of us. So I'm starting in row 14. So I'm going to be catching up to a lot of bikes fairly soon here, and just kind of starting to work by some of the guys in the C class here. I figured out pretty early that you have to be super careful following anybody on this track. And likewise, I was probably scooting around a lot myself too. I mean, people would seem like they were going straight, and then literally within a second they're like sideways in front of you. So anybody who rode here yesterday, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You can't really force your bike in this stuff. You just got to kind of let it do what it's going to do. So you pretty much got to just pick a spot, and pin it, and pray that the person doesn't slide out in front of you. That happened multiple times today, but great weather, and man, Crossroads did a great job laying out the track. Everything was marked good. Everything was arrowed good. Everything was marked on the start. You see right there. Again, just kind of tough to pick a good line to get by a lot of times. So sometimes you can find a little split lane here and get a good way to get by, but man, just hard to keep a straight line in this stuff. But I learned a lot riding at this track. Really pretty cool course layout. Even when you were off of the actual motocross track here, it was still pretty sandy. But we got a lot of rain during the week, and didn't really matter. See right there, could have just collected somebody real quick, but it didn't matter. There wasn't really anything wet here. It was, as far as sand goes, it was pretty much perfect. There was a little bit of moisture down inside of it, so it wasn't real powdery, and you could tell it wasn't really dusty at all. Just a really fun layout, hard Hard for me because I don't have a lot of experience in the sand. And so I think I was probably much faster after this first lap, even though the track was getting a little bit worse. I was really just kind of getting the sand figured out. I watched a lot of YouTube videos the prior week to just trying to get people's opinions on riding in the sand, and I mean, basically what I can tell you is you just need to try to keep some power to the rear wheel at all times, and just kind of let the bike kind of do what it's going to do. So you can tell this course here is a lot of this big motocross track. And again, first lap, I don't know whether these jumps are doubles or whether they're singles or tabletops or anything, so you got to kind of be careful the first couple of laps until you start learning some of them. This place got really, really whooped out by the end of the day. The whoops were just swallowing your bike. I figured the traction here would be pretty much perfect, so I did not put on new tires for this race. But I was kind of looking around in my row, and it seemed like just about everybody had new tires, so I thought I was going to have problems. The guy to the left of me had a brand new scoop tire on, and that probably would have been a good choice for the day, but I didn't feel like I was ever at a lack of traction, so my wore out tires did pretty good. So I came out of that first turn really in first place, and then they got somebody kind of snuck inside of me, and ended up more or less getting the whole shot. Second place, I guess you could say, and then I entered the woods first. But I'm going to throw it all away up here in just 1 second. Come around this corner here, and it's not that this is a tough hill. I just got right off balance right here. I had my left leg out trying to stay up on the hill, and when I finally get my bike started, I'm probably done ruined everything here, but when I finally got my bike started, I was not in gear. So I slid backwards. It's all sand. I can't really stand up, and I obviously can't get my bike up, and I don't want to get anybody's way. So I'm trying to pull my bike off the track here, and it's really steep, and I'm hearing probably my entire row passing me, and everybody that I've passed already is going by me. Little frustrated here. You can't stand up in this stuff because it's like standing up in snow. At this point, got my heart rate way up. Finally kind of off the side of the track, and just kind of disgusted at the same point because I was running in first, and now I'm probably easily in last. There's bikes continuing to go by me as I'm trying to get my bike started here. I do an air kick right here until I realize my Kickstarter's not out. So pretty frustrating point right now. I was pretty much running in first and felt like I didn't have anybody right on me, and I pretty much threw it all away. And so my heart rate is completely trashed right now. I can't even breathe at this point. I can barely ride my bike. So I just kind of take back off and pretty much know at this point that I can't ride my own race anymore, that I have to actually just push as hard as I can for the rest of the day. So I'm just trying to find some energy to move forward here. It's going to take me about another, 30 seconds or so before I can really even start breathing. And if you've not rode in sand like this, And you know, you can't ride the sand tentative. You have to ride the sand kind of aggressive. And when you're as tired as I am at this point, and you're old as I am, it's kind of hard to get back on pace. There's some really loose sections up through this point. The sand got, and this stuff here got really, really deep by the end of the race. But this whole track had a really good flow. I thought everything they laid out was really good myself. This is not the series that we normally run. We normally run OXCR. But I live in Indiana, and so probably going to try to run some more Crossroads races this year. This was the furthest one for me, and then a lot of the rest of them are getting closer. I assume since this is an off-road park that you can come here and ride during the week or maybe on weekends. I'm not completely sure. Throughout the day, you came across a lot of people falling over in the sand for sure. So I think I finally got moving here again and able to pick up my pace just a little bit, and I'm now starting to pass some of the people that had passed me when I fell. And I didn't really pay much attention to who I was passing. At this point, I finally just have some breath back, and I'm just going to start pushing as hard as I can for as long as I can. The dirt in the woods is just perfect. Just enough moisture so that there's no dust. Man, just good traction. Very, very much like single track. And here again, just trying to catch up and pass as many people as I possibly can.
Whoa!
These whooped out sections, man, they just got worse and worse throughout the day. I mean, the whoops just kept getting deeper and deeper. My bike's not completely set up for that, and you know, I'm just not super experienced at riding the sections that are super whooped out like that. So pretty hard on you. I did sit and stiffen up my front suspension just a little bit for this race. Just trying to follow some of the advice of people on YouTube and stuff like that. Getting some easy passes here, some people making some small mistakes and sneaking by. Catching some more people picking their bike up, and overall great day, man. The weather was unbelievable. A little cool in the morning, but man, by this time of the day, weather was just absolutely perfect for racing. Like I said, everything that happened here at Crossroads was good. Everything started on time. Scoring was done very reasonable time. Seems like everything was ran really well.
Outside! Outside!
I don't know how big this property is, but it's a fairly big piece of property. We covered a lot of ground. We're literally right on the Wabash River. I think I mentioned it, but I started on row 14. So really, I think within the first lap, I think the pros, at the end of the first lap, the pros had already come around and were lapping people. If it wasn't on the first lap, it was early in the second lap. didn't take them long. They had started so far ahead of us that they started lapping us pretty early. I think I'll probably be racing the next Crossroads race for sure. I'm gonna put some new tires on the bike. Probably gonna order a pipe. My pipe is so bent up that I've just decided I'm not gonna try to fix it anymore. There again, just lots of little mistakes, and not picking on anybody. I was probably making just as many little mistakes as everybody else. Just you had to be real careful how close you followed people, because okay, so there you go. That's probably the first pro that passed me, and again, we're not even through the first lap yet, but just had to be really careful. Kind of let your bike move around under you. Pick your passing spots wisely, because if you followed too long, you were almost guaranteed to pretty much guaranteed to get in the way or have somebody fall over in front of you. Really wasn't much elevation change here. There really weren't any big hills. It was pretty much all just bottoms, really, as we're running. River bottoms is what we're running. But some little ledges and stuff like to climb up here and there. It was good that the start was very wide, with wide turns and lots of room. Let everybody kind of get settled in before you enter the woods. Pretty long lap times here. I never really did catch how long the course actually was. I thought I heard somebody say like 6.5 miles, but I could be wrong about that. I never really did hear anybody say exactly how long the course was, but kind of cool that they do kind of like a video blog kind of a thing on Facebook, explaining some of the things about the course and things like that. So got some cool things going on. Come back down through this valley here. There was actually a faster line over on the other side over there, but I figured that out later in the race. A lot of bikes today. I think there was 187 bikes, seems like, is what I thought that was the number was. And I know I was in row 14, and there were, I think, 3 rows behind me. So definitely a lot of bikes out there on the course. I think there's a possibility that there was a fair number of people that pulled off early. I know my wife said she had seen some people pulling off early. So gave that guy a little tap, and looks like his fender folded down a little bit, but I think I got the worst of that because I cracked my shroud on that little bump, unfortunately.
Go ahead.
So at this point, I'm not really completely sure what place I'm in. I'm kind of getting out of the way of the faster guys and just pushing as hard as I can. I've passed a lot of people. I like that Crossroads uses the helmet stickers for the what line you started on, but I hadn't really been paying attention to how many people I passed in my row. So I really have no idea what position that I'm at this point. But obviously, eventually end up passing everybody in my class, and I got first today. Tell you what, some of these guys can really ride in the sand. I would like to have more opportunity, but it's a pretty good drive for me to ride anywhere in the sand, so just don't really get to do it very often. We're getting a little bit closer to the end of the track here. Boy, this section, there's other sections that the sand was just super deep, really tough to keep your bike where you wanted it. I was a little jealous up on the line because it seemed like everybody on the whole line had a bike newer than me. My bike's getting just a little bit old, but still running good. Hope everybody enjoys the video.